Teresita Blanco, the Artsy sister, and we're reading Saturnastra Marduke. We're at the start of Chapter 7, The Waiting Game. The first 2 months passed like the wind. Frankly, those months were the happiest that I had ever been in a long time. During those months, my troops got better acquainted with the facility. Some used to spend their time in the fields, others preferred the greenhouse or the aquarium. They usually stayed out of the storage facility and the laboratory floors. I got reacquainted with Rimaro. He told me of how he spent his time on the ground, since I'd only gotten interested with him when he saved Mikala's life. One day he had found her dead in the forest. It seemed as if the berserkers who trained in this region had made sport of her. He felt sorry for her and he tried to revive her. Distraught by his failure, he covered her in his white robes and took her dead body to the chapel in the last floor. The next day she came back to life as a vampire. Ever since then she has been hunting all those who visit this area. I kept this tale to myself. Mikala was still possessed some semblance of humanity. As for Rimaro, as long as Rimaro kept her in check, she was not going to continue causing problems. We all enjoyed Mikala's company. She was always very sweet and gentle. She also had a lovely singing voice. Whenever we heard her belly rumble, we willingly donated our blood. For her kindness, she rewarded us with obedience. The only problem was getting our orders across. Mikala did not speak our native tongue, nor did she seem inclined to learn it. It took many signs and gestures for Mikala to understand us. Many a times we simply gave up on ordering her around. I did manage to get one command across. Every night she was supposed to go out and check to see if the berserkers had returned to the forest. While we waited for their return, we enjoyed our vacation. Looking back, I realized that living within this place defeated the whole purpose of training during the winter. The air was always at the right temperature, and we could get all the food we wanted from any of the other granary floors. After the second month, Mikala returned with some disturbing news. It seemed that the other 25 gatherers had entered the forest. They were well armed, unlike us. It seemed to her that they were looking for us, to hunt us down. This news disturbed the others greatly. Kano was not surprised by this turn of events. Look, the second crew was sent to search and destroy us, I said. We need to convince them not to kill us. Any idea, Sabi? I could try us on diplomacy, I said. That's a stupid idea. They will shoot you the second they see you, warned Kano. Not if I take Mikala with me, I answered. She can use her powers to put them asleep. I'd rather you not put Mikala in danger, remarked Rimaro. He looked at me in all seriousness and he said, I will guard you, Marduke. Thank you, my brother, I said, hugging him. Pushing me back, Rimaro said, we should still approach them during the night time. The next day, when night fell, we climbed up the rope. Despite our warning, Miss Cara still followed after us. She hovered over the trees in the darkness. When we got close to the enemy camp, she perched on a tree and she took the form of a snow owl. It seemed that she planned on warning us should things get ugly. Any idea? Asked Rimaro. I will try diplomacy, I answered. Getting out of the bushes, I yelled. I come in peace. To my salutation, I got a shower of arrows. It seemed that whoever was commanding his team was of the shoot first, ask questions later variety. As I watched my lights flashing before my eyes, I saw a swift blur coming toward me. In the blink of a second, I saw my lights dangling over a tree. Rimaro had swept me away from the arrows that had struck me down. He then landed on a high branch. He still held on to me with both his arms as we had to flee again. Following us, Mikala came and she perched over the same branch. She gave her head a nod outward and then she said, ooh, ooh. Below us, we could hear the berserker searching for my body. I heard one of them say, where did he go? I don't know, said another. I think a ghost took him away, added another. Yes, I saw him fly up those trees, said another, coming closer. Fly, are you sure? This is starting to freak me out. Man or demon, shoot to kill. Yes, sir. Looking at Rimaro, I asked him, can you see the one? Yes, boss. Looking at Rimaro, I asked him, do you see the one they call boss? Yes, he answered. Once I got us through, we will take him back to our underground base. I will try to keep myself, I said, trying to keep myself from falling off the branches. That is easier said than done, said Rimaru. For the rest of the night, a motley crew stalked our enemy. Close to dawn, Mikala was forced to return home. Once she was gone, I said to Rimaru, "It is best if we return, and then we can take home their boss without her help." "I could paralyze him if you want," said Rimaru in his usual calm manner. "Can you do it?" I asked. "We'll see." Saying this, we landed close to the tent. While they slept peacefully, Rimaru softly landed in the center of the camp. He drew a circle with his finger, and then he opened his mouth. I could not tell what he was doing at first, and when I saw the first enemy gasping for air, I realized what he was doing. He had cast a shield around the vicinity, and then he was draining the air from within. After 3 minutes of suffocating them, Rimaru breathed out again, allowing the wind to flow inside the shield. He then released the shield and he beckoned me to come inside. He led me towards the walls he had seen last night. Wishing for her in his tent, I saw Bruno. If I remember correctly, he had failed the first exam 5 times. Now at the age of 20, he had finally gotten his big break. It figured that somebody as frustrated as Bruno would be the leader of the second party. After all, most berserkers defeated Mafuge in the first or even the third time around. Over the last 15 years, I had seen him grow from a scrawny 15-year-old to a behemoth. Not only was he 8 feet tall, he was also broad and muscular. The fact that he was wearing a steel plate armor made him look wilder and heavier. Seeing him lying there made me realize the difficult task of taking him back to our lair. If I was going to try this diplomacy, it had to be done right then and there. And set up on top of his huge, broad chest covered in steel plate armor. I then took out my dagger and I put it to his neck. Slapping his face, I said a little, "We need to talk." In a second, his face turned red in fury. He grabbed my small body with both hands as if he wanted to squeeze me to death. Luckily, his strength had yet to return. The time?
7 minutes.
To give him some extra motivation, Rimaru dragged Bruno's large claymore. He laid the point over Bruno's head, so close that he drew blood. Smiling, Rimaru said, "Do you get the point?" Bruno grabbed the end of his sword with his bare hand and he pushed it aside. Ignoring the blood, he tried to incorporate himself. Rimaru noticed that he was trying to rise. He flew to the top of the tent and he allowed his whole body weight to fall on top of Bruno's neck. This took the wind out of him again. I said to Rimaru angrily, "We don't want to kill him." And to Bruno I said, "We are going to keep taking the breath out of you until you listen." His only response to this threat was a growl. Seeing that he was not cooperating made me feel really tired. I started kicking him in his bare, bald head. Amused, Rimaru joined in the fray. Once Bruno's head was seriously bloody, he said, "Fine, we'll talk." Suddenly the tent was thrown open. Many of the troops came bearing weapons. Rimaru saw the danger and swiftly flew me out of the tent. Before we left, one of the soldiers said, "Calm down, our boss wants to parley." Looking down, I said, "I would only speak with Bruno alone. The rest must go far away from the camp." "Fine, whatever you want, Marduke. Now order your pet wizard to come down," answered another soldier. Rimaru granted graciously. Not trusting Bruno, he lit a barrier around the camp after the soldiers departed. When we entered the tent, we saw Bruno tending to his wounds. He sat in the floor before his cot. Once cot, like the bed. "Was the last booster I have been tended to," he said. "So what do you want?" "I want you and your men to obey me," I responded. "You must be out of your damn mind," answered Bruno angrily. "Perhaps," I said disdainfully. "You know that we were ordered to kill you." "It matters not. I only desire to complete another submission," said I, looking at him more intently. "What happens if we don't submit?" he asked, rising, claymore in hand. Noticing his threatening stand, Rimaru pointed straight at Bruno. Suddenly, a gust of wind took Bruno, tent and all. He was left pinned against a tree. Struggling against the gust of wind, he said, "No fear using magic." Rimaru, coming closer, responded, "There is nothing magical about my ability. It is just simple absorption." "Well, then I saw this, you dwarf," he said, spitting at Rimaru. Thankfully, the gust of wind made it return to its point of origin. Frustrated, Bruno said, "All right, I yield." The second he felt the windy bark, he rushed at my brother. Raising his sword, he tried to slice him in half. My brother flew away from the strike. While the dust of his strike was giving out, I stepped on the flat part of his blade. Using it as a ramp, I made my way up to his arm and over his shoulder. And when I reached his head, I struck his forehead with the back of my elbow. The force of the strike seemed to have knocked some sense into it. The second strike knocked him out. Some hours passed before he came to. When he awoke, he said, "Fine. So the little boy packs a punch. Will you serve me?" "Yes," answered Bruno. "Will you obey my orders without questioning them?" "Yes." "Will you die for me?" "Yes." "Will you fight Bersamet if I order you to?" "What?" This last question seemed to have struck him as odd. "Pity. So you would die for me, but you will not fight Bersamet if I order you to," I said sadly. "I guess I will have to kill you." Saying this, I took out my daggers again. Bruno tried to search for it, or however Rimaro had taken it away. Feeling himself stupid, he tried to punch and kick at me. However, since I had hardly any armor, I was able to dodge around him. I then took some impulse and swiftly climbed his back, and before he was able to grab me, and I had both my daggers to his neck. I stopped the second his neck felt the cold steel of my dagger. Afterwards, I jumped back down. Bruno was shot after Lucas seeing the second bout. After thinking it aloud, he said, "Fine, I will fight King Bersamet." Alright, time?
3 minutes, 14 seconds.
I can't read no more.
Then end it here.
We'll leave it here.
Bye-bye and God bless.
Bye-bye and God bless.